Good morning, and thank you for joining us. This is the C2C Bootstrap Marketing 101 class. It is the first 3 videos every business needs to create. And we want to welcome you to the community, Chamber to Community Back to Business NWA series. For those of you who are joining us for the very first time, I'm Karen Wagaman, Vice President for Downtown Development with the Rogers-Lowell Area Chamber of Commerce. And this is a new, relatively new virtual series. We created it as a response to requests from member businesses who were seeking tools and tactics to help to navigate through the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's proven to be very popular with members and non-members. We're glad you are here. This is actually this session is being recorded. So if you have to jump off for any reason, after the session is uploaded to YouTube, I will send you a link and you can view this and other of our series. So now I want to thank our community builder sponsors who are making this free series possible. We've got Cox Communications and Black Hills Energy. And also, of course, we want to thank Woodridge Interactive. They are headquartered in downtown Rogers. They are a new company, but they are growing like crazy. And this is actually their second C2C program that they've provided to us. So I can send you not only this one, but the one they did a few weeks ago. Today's subject matter experts are John Allen and Ben Schmuck, and they are sharing their marketing and communications expertise. They are helping you tell your story by creating compelling videos using your smartphone. So John Allen is the founder and CEO of Woodridge Interactive. He created a business to help Walmart suppliers thrive in the challenging world of e-commerce. And Ben Schmuck is the director of digital strategy at Woodridge Interactive. Ben leads the digital transformation of the business and oversees all of Woodridge media channels and marketing efforts. So I want to thank you, John and Ben, for providing the information to tell us about the 3 critical videos every business should have and how to make them affordably. So I will turn it over to you, gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Karen. It's good to be back with you today. I'm John. This here is Ben, who leads our digital strategy here today. And we're going to talk to you about the 3 videos that every business needs to create. You know, there's so many options out there and there's so many ways of doing things. We've narrowed it down to these 3 essential videos that are really going to help you connect with your customers and sell your brand. So talk a little bit about what we're going to learn today is really about, you know, those 3 videos that are budget friendly that you need to create, why your business needs to create them, and then tips for creating great videos. And then we'll get down to the nuts and bolts of those 3 videos that every business needs to create. And we'll touch on Q&As. And I just encourage everyone that's listening today and watching, if you've got a question, go ahead and hit the chat window, and the chamber's monitoring today. We're happy to address those questions as they come up throughout the broadcast, as well as close out with any questions you have remaining. So we'll start off with Ben, and we'll just do a little recap of some of the elements that you touched on last time, just in case you missed the first in our series.
Yeah, so it's 2020. I like to say that we're kind of in the golden age of video production right now. To produce a quality business video for your company, to showcase what you're wanting to do, really all you need is an iPhone and Android. If you have one of the newer models, they both are coming out with very fantastic, very quality built-in cameras that can shoot great videos, great photos as well. Apple in particular, I'm an Apple fan, has been paving the way for mobile video and photography. And so with the new iPhone 11, even going back to the XR or some of the other later models, you can go out and just with what's in your pocket can shoot full HD video with decent audio as well. And then from there, if you have an iPhone, you can use iMovie. If you don't have an iPhone, if you have an Android, there are a number of apps out there. There's Splice, there's Videorama, and then even Adobe has Premiere Rush. It looks like Splice is free initially. And then with Adobe Premiere Rush for $10 a month, you can have a subscription to it to go in and edit those videos straight on whatever phone you're using.
Yeah, I remember when you used to have to use a computer.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't even need that anymore.
Yeah. If you have a little bit of a budget, a little bit of cash on hand, and just a little bit more, putting a little bit more effort into it, you can have a almost fully inclusive video setup that will give you more professional looking videos. If you invest $20 into a tripod that has a cell phone adapter on it, you'll get more stable video. If you invest $50 into a continuous lighting system that gives you much more control over the lighting of your set, whether you're doing an interview or you're filming B-roll, being able to control that lighting is going to be one of the most important things you can do. That's going to give you clearer picture. You're not going to have to deal with low light video or grainy video. And I can't see it on the screen, but for just a few dollars more, you can have an omnidirectional lav mic that's going to give you very crisp audio.
Yeah. The thing we found is, people are willing to give up a little bit of quality on the actual picture of your video, but what really turns them off faster than anything is poor audio quality. And so an investment in the mic makes a world of difference.
Yeah. So that mic's going to be $15. Everything you can see on the screen here, we pulled directly from Walmart.com, so it's very accessible as well to be able to go out and find that quickly and easily on a very small budget.
Yeah, so you can basically get started for free with just what's in your pocket. And then if you want to make a small investment, for less than $100, you can produce a very high quality video.
Yeah. And again, this just gets you started. If you have a bigger budget, you can spend almost unlimited.
Spend as much
you
as
can
you
spend
want.
as much as you want to spend.
We do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now let's just dive down into some of the tips for a great video. And it all starts really with, like anything else, whether you want a great business or great business plan. It starts with a super plan, and that's your script. That's really the foundation for everything that you're going to do. They're essential to your product success. And if you struggle with telling your story, and a lot of people do, sometimes a third party is an excellent resource. They're going to look at your business more like your customers do. They're going to ask more questions. They're going to key on those top little things that really are going to matter to your customers, and that can be a great resource. And again, it's going to shine a little bit brighter light on your business and really how the general public understands it, how your key customer base is going to relate to your company. And one of the things for working with a video company, they're going to focus in, they're going to have you start with a creative brief. And why you do that is really just to kind of really inform that overall video and what it needs to be. But you can actually do this yourself. I mean, that's the beauty of it. And just by asking a few typical questions, and one starts with just what's your elevator pitch? And then, the second one is, what specific problem do you solve for that shopper or client that you have out there? And what are 3 benefits of working with your business or that product that's going to benefit that client? And then how to work with you, and how to work with your service, how to work with your business is key. And then the next thing is you start really just looking into, you want to be relatable. What's your business like? How do you want to appear to that to the public? And so that gets into things like, the tone you want to use. Is it going to be professional tone? Is it going to be a conversational tone? In some cases, if you were maybe an entertainment business, maybe a little bit more of a fun tone with it. And then, to tie it all together, it's that look of the video. What's your visual style? And does it match your business? You want to make sure you're telling an authentic story all the way through. So does it need to be professional, or how does it need to look? Give that some consideration. So your creative brief is really just to keep you on track with your video and making sure it all ties together. And bottom line, should be designed to help your audience connect with their business. And it's that small investment in time you're going to put in the planning up front is going to pay off every single time. So the next question I get is, people say, how long should my video be?
Yeah,
So,
and my answer to that is always going to be the shorter the better. The less you say, the more likely people are to remember what it is you've said. An industry rule of thumb is around 150 words per minute. I would suggest not hitting that mark. Studies show that really a 30-second video, you're going to hold 95% of your initial viewers' attention span. And it drops off significantly after that. Once you hit the 1 to 2 minute mark, you've lost 25% of that viewership. And then after the 1 to 2% mark, you've lost 50% or more. So again, keeping it short and sweet is going to be the best option. If you can get it in 30 to 45 seconds, that's going to be the ideal time frame in my mind.
Yeah, bottom line is people are just busy. And short and crisp is going to work every time. And, you know, the other element is, it's just the old KISS principle, you know, keep it simple. And for example, you can hit 4 points and this will take care of your whole video. One is just talking about, you know, the problem. What problem are you solving? So 20 seconds just talking about that pain point the customer is having. And next I would talk about the solution, introducing that solution to their problem. How are you going to solve that problem? So, you know, 20, 25 seconds, really talking about that is all you need. And then talk briefly about how's it going to work and how do you get started? So maybe another 25 seconds there. And, you know, lastly, I'd say always close with that call to action. What do you really want that viewer to do, that potential customer to do? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to stop by? Do you want them to send you an email? What is it you want them to do? Do you just need that one click? And I'd also say just consider, you know, look through it through the eyes of your customer. You see some businesses will talk about things and get into very technical terms like, you know, something has 100 gigabytes of storage. It's a 60-inch high definition screen. And that's not really speaking to what the client's looking for. What your client's looking for is how do you solve their problem? So if you take that 100 gigabytes of storage completely out of your conversation and put it in terms like it has plenty of storage to safely store all your family photos, that's the kind of solutions everyone's looking for. So now let's talk a little bit about voice.
Yeah, so your voice, your audio that you're using is going to be one of the most important things you can use with your video. And we're not really practicing what we preach right here, as I'm sure you guys can hear the train and the siren running behind us. But making sure that you have good audio, making sure that you're filming you're recording your audio in a quiet place where there's no distracting noises going on around you. But then also making sure that you're choosing the proper voice, that the voice is going to be something that resonates with the audience, making sure that they have the proper delivery and the proper tone, and it's not going to be a voice that's distracting, whether they're mumbling or stumbling through what they're saying, whether they have a very high-pitched voice and it's just not resonating with the audience. So you can either have someone on your team that might have a great voice that you can use that has that tempo that will be good. If not, you can very cheaply go to a website such as voices.com and outsource to get what you're looking for. Yeah.
I'd throw in another element. I think that's just have some fun with what you're doing. And so creating a video, bottom line is you want to connect with your audience. And it doesn't matter who's watching. It can be a CEO, it can be a working mom or even kids. But one thing's true is like everybody wants to be entertained. Adding a little something different to your video, a little humor, a little surprise goes a long way into making those connections. And if you make people smile, they're going to connect with your brand. And so we've talked about voices. We've talked a little bit about having some fun. Now let's talk about the visuals.
Yeah, visuals, they're important, but they're not as important as you might think. Audio, in my mind, is much more important than the visuals. I think that if you keep them simple, the key is to use your visuals to illustrate that story, to reinforce what's being said in the voiceover or in the audio. Keeping the graphics simple. You're not looking to create the next avatar. You want your message to resonate. And if you dig too deep into trying to do fancy graphics or trying to do too much with what your visuals actually look like, if you pull it off, that's great. But if you don't pull it off, that's just going to be 100 times more distracting than if you hadn't even tried. At that point, your video is going to resonate because, oh, look at these crazy graphics these people did, as opposed to, oh, this product's really cool. We should
what's
buy
the
that.
message?
Exactly.
Yeah. And the other piece that, sometimes it's a little more conscious than other times you hear it, it's that music in the background or that intro piece. Think of some of your favorite TV shows. You can almost hear the introduction music. And when you say the name of the show, somebody said Cheers, you're going to know that tune. If somebody said some of these other pieces, you're going to know exactly what that is. So music really sets that tone and that pace and that feeling for your video. And, sometimes you're going to have in mind exactly what you want to have playing in the background. More often and more typical the case is you've already completed the video. Now you go, oh, I need some background music. So what are you going to do? The nice thing about that is between avoiding copyright issues and just costs that are out there, turning to some of the premium music providers like Premium Beat or Audio Jungle is a good solution to help avoid all those problems. You can search and get exactly what you need. It's very cost friendly to do that and avoids a lot of hassles for you. You can find exactly the right tune for your video. So that said, now you've had a chance to work through all of this. You've got your video complete.
Yeah, so now
you need to launch it.
One of the most important steps is getting your video in front of your customers. So planning for your launch, you've got it scripted, you've got it shot and edited, you've picked the perfect music. How are you going to get this video in front of your current clients, your potential clients? How are you using this video to drive your revenue and drive your business? So really there's three things with the launch. You have to pick a host. Where are you going to host your video at? Where is it going to be up online? We suggest a few. There's Wistia, there's Vimeo Pro, Brightcove, and then Vidyard are good options. There's dozens of others. They're all a dime a dozen. So selecting a video host. After that, having a marketing plan. So how are you pushing that video out? A free way to do that, a very easy way to do that, is through your social channels, through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, etc., YouTube. The initial push to put that out on your pages doesn't cost anything. And from there, you can pay as needed on the various platforms based on how you prefer to market your items. And then another very easy way to push this out is to integrate it on your website. Put it on your homepage, put it elsewhere on your website, just whatever resonates with your brand and your voice that you've been pushing out already. Don't force it, and don't put it in a place that it doesn't belong, just to put it out there.
Yeah, just big thing is just focus on where are your clients, where are your customers today, and just leverage those channels. That's what's going to work best for you. So we've given you some background information on, really what's needed to create the video, the steps you need to go through, how to launch it. Let's kind of really get to the point with this, and that's really those first 3 videos every business needs. And the place that I'd encourage you to start is just what's called that explainer video. This is really just getting down to having a short video that's going to talk about your product or service quickly and succinctly. And that's why they call them an explainer. It's that easy. And for introducing your offering, it's really the best way to connect. And it's about really, what are you going to do to help make your shoppers, or your customers, your clients' lives easier through your service? Even if you don't believe your business or your product's cool enough, explainer videos help make it cool. There's somebody out there that has a problem that needs to be solved, and your business can solve that problem for them. So that quick, easy explainer is just what someone needs to help clearly understand how your product's going to solve that problem for them. So think of an explainer similar to an elevator pitch. It should be short, sweet, to the point, show your product or service. Think of 30 seconds is about that magic number Ben talked about earlier for your total length of your video, and certainly don't go longer than a minute. Again, people are busy, they have less time, you got to get to the point. And then when you start talking about your product or service and benefits, just 1 or 2 key features is plenty to show them how you can solve the problem. And then again, we keep saying that call to action is everything. What do you want them to do? What do you want your watcher to do? You want them to click? Do you want them to call, stop by? Always wrap it up and be sure to ask. That's key to winning in that piece over and over again.
One of the most beneficial explainer videos that I've seen work is a how-to video. It's showing your product or your service in action giving the customer a tangible way to look at and see that, oh yeah, what they provide, it works.
That's exactly what I need. Next piece we'll talk about is that customer testimonial. So, a lot of times in the marketing world, the company thumps their own chest and talks about how great they are. That never works, and it doesn't resonate with anyone. The better way to tell it is through the eyes of your customer and the experiences your customers have had. So, big deal is you want them talking about your product or brand, about the experience they've had working with your company. And, those are so genuine and easy to connect to. It builds trust, and it really shows how great your product is, how great your business is through the lens of your customer, your clients. So 89% of marketers are going to say that testimonials by far have the highest return on your investment. So it's a great way to spend your time, and what little funds you want to put into it, it's going to get you the most bang for the buck. And a well-organized testimonial is going to work in a number of ways. One, it gives social proof to what you're doing and how you're doing it. It's going to demonstrate that value proposition that your business or service brings to your clients. And then the other piece is just that emotional appeal. People saying it's great is hard to beat. So the other piece we've talked about is just make sure that you include some data, some actual facts, case studies, actual customer results to help bring that story to life. That's going to help gain credibility. And if you're doing a customer testimonial, your trust factor just goes through the roof. Now, thirdly, we'll talk about I hear Karen talk to this as origin stories, but that's really your company story. Your company story is the piece that just brings you alive. There's something about your company on how it was started, what your motivation was for starting and creating the company, and that whole background story behind it. What was your motivation? People want to know. There's some of the great stories I've heard around. That's one of the questions I'll ask around Downtown Rogers, just how'd you get started in this? I've heard some fantastic stories, and it really helps people connect with you, your brand, and your people. So when we talk about the people side, there's just those friendly faces of the people who are team members and making things happen with your customers. So the first person that customer is going to see when they walk in the door, it really helps people connect with them, just like an old friend you've seen again and again. So it helps, through your people, you get to show what makes your business unique, what makes you special. And on a human level, it connects like no other medium can. That's a static print piece isn't going to do it for you. A website's not going to do it for you. But the beautiful thing about the web and video is it really brings your story to life. So time and again, what you'll find is these types of stories are going to really give you your most bang for your buck. The other approach really on these origin stories is you can actually take snippets submitted by your team and string those together into a great video with a voiceover. And that's another really low effort, low cost way to connect with your clients. If you think about customer testimonials, this is more of the employee testimonials that really brings your business to life. Third, you can ask some questions to your team members about their day-to-day work life in the company and what's that like. And that's another super easy way to create a video that's going to emphasize your company culture, help people know what it's all about. It takes very little effort. So in conclusion, there's a lot of tactics and a lot of different options out there for video. And what we've tried to do is, give you some informed decisions today. So if you own a small business or work in a small business, resources are limited. You want to make the most of your time, your money, your effort. And so that's why we recommend these 3 types of videos to help you win. They build trust and credibility. They show off people work for your company, and they really project an image that are going to set your business apart from any others. And so at this point, we'll turn it over for any questions you may have out there.
Oh, hi, it's Karen. Hi, where am I?
Hi, Karen.
I'm trying to come back. Anyway, thank you. I do hope we have some questions. The conversation I believe we had previously included people that say, oh, I can't be on video. I get nervous. I don't want to do that. I like the point that you pointed out that you can hire talent. You can have a friend do it or a team member. It doesn't have to be the owner of the company making that comment or, doing that video production. You want the company to look great. So have the best person there to speak about it. So I love that you pointed that out.
Yeah, it's a great way to, again, people don't like to be on camera. They don't always like to see themselves on camera.
John and I had that conversation, yesterday, the day before. I don't like to be on camera, but
yeah,
here I am.
Here he is. So way to go, Ben. But, that other piece is just, voiceovers, the B-roll you can use, the simple way you can tell a story or show people and have a voiceover. So you don't necessarily have to be the one on camera. We talked a little bit about also just, there's always those people in your business that love being in front of the camera, right? And they can help tell your story. There's just so many ways, we talked about B-roll. So just shooting those situations around your store or shop, clients interacting in a voiceover. That's another way to quickly and easily get to the point without a huge effort and avoids the uncomfortableness of being on camera.
Well, it's all about highlighting your best story. And if the person that's telling your story isn't comfortable doing so, your best story is not going to be told.
Exactly.
So it's setting yourselves up for success in that way from the very beginning.
Sarah commented that they love doing videos. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad we have people who are on the webinar that are engaging and letting people know their stories. I think that's really important. I'm sitting here thinking about, okay, I'm not practicing what I preach. I get very uncomfortable. I get nervous when the TV cameras show up or the news media, but I remind myself they're only going to have me on for a split second. And then they are telling the story, they're doing the voiceover, they're using the B-roll, and it's not all about me. So I just have to remember that and put the focus on the story and not worry about, myself. But I even get nervous on these webinars, as you can tell. But anyway.
The world lives in sound bites these days. So it's just that quick clip and that really solves the problem, answers the question, and brings things to life. And then to your point, Karen, it's just about the voiceover and telling the story through B-roll and action shots. So it's that easy.
And the great thing about video is you can scrap it and do it again. It's very inexpensive nowadays.
Yeah, in the digital world, it just makes it so easy to just continue shooting. It's not like you're using up resources. We'll shoot things 3 and 4 times to get just exactly what we want. And you're not really consuming resources. So, and there was a time when you did, you probably don't remember that, but yeah. So in the digital world, it changes all that, and the ability to just seamlessly edit with, free tools these days. You can quickly become a professional. And then we have, the wonderful tools like YouTube that will show you anything if you've got a question.
We also like the fact that you promoted the testimonials, because that allows you to flatter one of your customers, one of your supporters, and they're going to tell your story, and they don't have to be modest about it. They can tell everybody why they love your company. They can tell everyone how you're transforming, their business or their lifestyle. So I think testimonials are really flattering to whoever you ask to participate in that. I love that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Karen. If you just think about how we live our own lives, if we want to know a place is a great place to eat, or you're going to have a great buying experience, or, whatever you're going to buy these days, you're going to do it by asking your friends, either on a social channel or just like Ben and I right next to each other. You're going to ask that question. So when you see that familiar face telling that story, you see that other community member telling that story about that brand, it really resonates with the rest of the community and your potential customers like nothing else.
Okay, let's see. Luce wrote, are voiceovers preferred over a live conversation? Not sure I worded that correctly. So what are your thoughts on a voiceover versus a conversation as you two are doing right now?
Yeah, so I think it just depends on what story you're trying to tell.
I think that's a great question. I think when I do interviews, when I conduct interviews, I try and make it a conversation, and then go back and pull the sound bites out that I like to be that voiceover. It's a little less scripted, and so it kind of goes back to what John was talking about earlier with the script on how scripted out do you want this to be.
Yeah, and I'd say, with us, we produce, videos for Walmart.com, for brands, et cetera. And we use a combination. So for some of these 15-second pieces that we do, where you've got to get a lot into a small space, we're using voiceover, we're using words on the screen, we're using a lot of techniques. We're trying to get as much information as we can succinctly. But I think the big thing is just, does it fit the message? If you're trying to do just a little quick, how to, that voiceover is going to work so much better than someone, because you can keep it very succinct with a storyline and shorten the length of the video that way. So that's very effective with the how-to piece, because so much it's a combination of both telling and showing. The more the conversational piece, it's got to fit your brand and fit your story. And I'd say that's for the little bit longer pieces that you're doing.
It could be great for the customer testimonial.
Yeah, the testimonials, exactly.
Or your company story.
Company story, and the company story can also be a voiceover, but you're still going to want to hear something from the people on screen, so that'd probably be a mix.
Yeah.
But it just depends on, how much do you need to pack into what kind of time frame, and then what type. Again, so the how-to is rather than have somebody showing you, it's so much easier to demonstrate it quickly. You've seen these little fast forward videos where, the things that would drone on, you compress the time cycle on it to get to the point, right? You always call it landing the plane. So you can compress those moments and move a process along on a how-to video with a voiceover very easily. And again, you get into the testimonial piece. Well, there's your opportunity to do it on screen. So, it's what problem you're trying to solve is going to guide you the best on that.
And well, when you're talking about editing, so Ben, when someone shoots the video on their phone, is there software where they can edit it on their phone, or do they need to download it to their PC or their Apple? Or
yeah, absolutely. So you can do either. You can edit on your phone. You can export it to a computer and edit there. Just whatever you prefer. Talking iPhones, all iPhones come standard with iMovie already downloaded onto them. And that's a free, super user-friendly editing software that you shoot it on your phone, you import it into iMovie, and you can edit away from there. It's very quick, easy steps.
It's what every 12-year-old is doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now.
Absolutely. There are apps that you can download for a cost. If you have an Adobe subscription already, for your computer, you can download Adobe Premiere Rush, which is a trimmed down version of their desktop software Premiere, which is on iPhone and Android both, I believe.
Yeah.
And that even has a convenient button to where you finished editing your video, you're ready to export it. You can export directly to your social media channels with no middleman. You don't have to export to your phone and then post from there. You can go right into your Facebook feed from Premiere Rush. And that's going to give you a little bit more capabilities with iMovie. So it's a little less user friendly, but you can do a little bit more with it.
Yeah, the great thing is just these days with being able to shoot your phone, you can do those little impromptu pieces that come across very genuine. You could be walking down through downtown Rogers here, telling your story or talking about something that's coming up or an event, and immediately publish that to your social channel. Just a quick snippet, maybe 15 seconds is all that's needed, but you can keep an ongoing dialogue with your customer base because it's that easy. Just walking down the street, shoot a video and publish it.
One of the things that I like about iMovie today is it comes with built-in themes that provide uncopyrighted music, so you don't have to worry about copyrights with the audio you're pulling in. And again, it's very user-friendly. Anyone can pick up an iPhone and within 10, 15 minutes have a understanding of what they're doing with iMovie.
Yeah. Great thing is, I mean, you can start practicing just by doing some few little family videos that you're using on your personal channels, connecting with, you know, your family and friends. And so if you're not comfortable at how that turns out, you've got a built-in constituency just with your friends and family plan on your social media channels, where you can practice this around your house, telling a story or whatever's going on, and try publishing it. Go through all the steps so you're comfortable doing it for your business.
Right. And I'm sure there are tons of how-to videos on YouTube or wherever, tutorials and things that take people step by step, how to use the different software programs and apps.
That's how I figure out half the things that I'm doing.
Yeah, even around the house.
Yeah.
If I need to fix something, I go straight to YouTube these days. And sometimes I'll watch 2 or 3 because that one might just be a little bit off, but in general, it's pretty darn good.
And you can look at other businesses, other small businesses, maybe one similar to yours, and emulate what they're doing. You know, there's patterns out there everywhere. So, well, I'm looking, I do not see any other questions. I think we are probably to a stopping point. Is there anything else you want to share with us, Ben and John?
No, just thank you all for your time. Thank you for the opportunity to be in front of you guys and share a little bit about what we're doing.
Yeah, if you have questions, you know, feel free, just drop us a line. You can just send an email to john@woodridgeinteractive.com. If somebody's still got some questions out there, I'd be happy to answer them for you.
And that's Jon, John.
Jon, yes, no H.
So, okay, well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And I want to thank you, John and Ben, Jon, John, for providing this information about the 3 types of videos every business should create. And we also want to thank our sponsors, Cox Communications and Black Hills Energy. And I want to thank all the participants for joining us for the webinar. Again, we are recording this, and so once it's uploaded to YouTube in a day or so, I will send you the link, and that way you can watch this again in case you missed something or if you joined us a little bit late. And we also want to remind you, you are welcome to reach out to Woodridge Interactive in downtown Rogers if you have any questions. And of course, contact us at the Rogers Lowell Chamber of Commerce for any other business related questions or suggestions, or if you have ideas for C2C workshops, give me a call, send me an email, Karen@rogerslowell.com. Thank you both.
Thanks, everyone.